very good evaluator to evaluate another very good speech, Matthew James.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters and guests, and David. I am delighted that I got to hear that speech again because I had forgotten how much I liked it the first time. And I would really like to have a copy of your notes and some of your research. David's objective in this speech was to research a topic of importance that requires a large amount of research, and he was concerned before the speech that his topic might not have naturally lend itself toward research as much as he expected that the project would require. I think you met the objective, and I think that there was more research involved in your speech than you have stopped to consider. You really hammered, according to my research. I don't know if everybody else noticed that, but I noticed, according to my research, and then you did it again when you said, according to the Old Testament lexicon. And I noticed that because prior to giving the speech, he asked me, does looking up a Hebrew word count as research? And so I knew he was a little bit on edge about that. But you started with the selection of a poem. And that selection of the poem is research in itself. You then move to a very dramatic and graphic image about tunneling and driving a car through the redwood trees of the forest of California. That is a matter of research as well. Then you talked about your visit to some of those forests and your personal experience of the aroma of some succulent fragrances there. That counts as research as well. You contrasted the history of Christ's crucifixion with Isaiah's prophecy of the trees clapping their hands, the fields and the trees in the field clapping their hands. That is research as well. You appealed to Psalm number 1, the blessed man who is like a tree planted by the rivers of the living water. And you probably failed to count that as research because it was so ready at your fingertips. It was so already a part of you in your interaction with the Scripture and a lot of these other kinds of thoughts. But for all of us, anytime we're doing a project, we involve a great deal of research that's probably a lot more than we initially estimate. Even if you're just telling your own story, you have a great deal of research involved. You wanted to be more variety, and you wanted a greater drama to your presentation. And at the risk of pontificating about speech theory, I'd like to point out that I believe the purpose of your speech was primarily contemplative. You were leading us to contemplate something that most of us take for granted. The purpose of your speech was not just to be dramatic. The purpose of your speech was not just to be humorous. The purpose of your speech was not primarily informative or motivational, but inspirational. Pep rallies try to inspire us with a lot of hype. Concerts try to inspire us with a lot of noise or some beauty. Comedy tries to inspire us with laughter. A movie tries to inspire us by offering an escape. You inspired us by some contemplative meditation in the truth. The most powerful inspiration of all. And I thought that your demeanor and your vocal variety for who you are was exactly on target, and I congratulate you, sir. Mr. General Evaluator.
Good job, Matthew. Okay, well, let's get going.